Hi, I'm Dave Dinkel here with the next special series, 2-Minute Tips. This one is one of the most asked questions. I have no money, no credit. How do I buy and sell properties? Again, this is the most misunderstood aspect of real estate investing. We don't invest in properties. We wholesale properties. The only amount of time we're vested is between closings of the A to B, the first leg, and the B to C closing. And we use either other people's money or the end buyer's money. If you're saying to me you can't use the end buyer's money, I don't want to get into this with you because it's legal if done properly. Full disclosure, closing agent understands it, so on and so forth. Let's assume that you use transactional funding, or you assign the contract, or you do a joint venture. You don't need money to do that. Well, do you need an earnest money deposit? Depends on who the seller is, but yes. Well, I don't have an earnest money deposit. Then get one. If you want to be an investor, you have to make changes in your lifestyle. It's not going to be the warm and fuzziest thing and you're going to be retired on the beach in a year or something like that. It's hard work. Making money is hard work. It gets to be easier and easier as you do it, but if you never take the step to do it, it's always going to be an excuse about why you can't. There's actually 18 ways to do deals with no money, with creative financing and other things. But money is the least of your problem when becoming an investor. In one of the other videos I said to you, there's 5 types of wholesaling, one of which is illegal, and I tell you about it simply because you're going to get taken advantage of if you don't know about it. So I show you what it is and how to be prepared for it if it happens to you. But the other 4 methods require virtually no money. In many cases, no earnest money deposit. You don't have to look at the houses. Remember I said to you one of them is wholesaling to wholesaling? Well, where do you get buyers? You've got buyers built in. Where do you get sellers? You've got them built in. What people see in real estate investing is a wall of information that they just don't understand how to climb. And the reference I hear all the time is, how does a pygmy eat an elephant? One bite at a time. My strategy in real estate investing is not to teach you how do you choose an after repaired value. How do you do the estimate of repairs? I did that in software. It's all in there. It's all in the program. It's automated. So you can become an almost expert contractor in 10 or 15 minutes walking through a house, checking what it needs, putting it into an Excel spreadsheet, and boom, it makes different types of creative offers, as well as prints a sheet that says to the seller, I understand you want this much money, but because of these repair costs that we estimated, this is what I'm offering. Now, when you make an offer, don't ever say to a seller, it's the most I can do. What you have now done is drawn a line in the sand and said, if you can get any higher offer, take it. Because I'm only going to do this. That's what they hear, I only. You can always blame it on your partner. This is what my partner told me that I should offer. Not the most I could offer, what I should offer. What were you thinking? And if they're thinking 100,000 more than you're going to, the question is why? Where did you come up with that offer? Well, in 2005, I got offered that. Well, it's not 2005 anymore. Why are you selling? Well, because I have to sell by the 15th of the month, whatever. Well, if you have to sell by the 15th of the month, I can help you, but I can't help you at retail. I have a series of objections by sellers. 99% of what you can expect to hear from sellers, like, who are you? Why should I trust you? I mean, they may not ask you that, but you need to know that. And what's the worst single objection a seller can give you? Let me think about it. You're done. They're not thinking about it in most cases. They've already thought about it, and they're trying to let you down gracefully by saying, let me think about it. Then they don't answer the phone, or they say, nah, I thought about it, talked to my husband. First of all, if the husband or the spouse wasn't there, you shouldn't have had the meeting, because that spouse is going to go back to the other one and say, here's what Dave said. Well, did you ask Dave this? No, I didn't think about it. Why didn't you ask Dave that? And then she interprets what you think Dave would have said. Pretty soon it's done. If it comes down to, is your husband going to be there, or your wife going to be there? No, she doesn't get home until 6 o'clock. How about if I come by, bring a pizza, and we talk about it after 6:30 or 7:30 or something like that, or whatever it takes to get you in front of both of them at the same time will save you a lot of aggravation later. So because you as a investor wannabe, and I'm going to call you a wannabe if you're watching this, you're going to get great tips if you're already doing it. But if you're a wannabe, you get great tips. But I want you to overcome these objections. Your least concern is, I need money to do real estate investing. Let's learn how to do deals with little or no money, little being your earnest money deposit. Start accumulating capital. This goes for one of the biggest things that I get all the time is, do I need an LLC? I took a course on LLCs and sub-S corps, and what you need to do is make money. Before you start spending money, make money. If you open an LLC at the end of the year, you've got to file a tax return for it. It's going to cost you money to do that. Remember, your liability is your escrow deposit. So how much liability do you have? You're not going to get a huge amount of liability coverage because you have a umbrella called an LLC or a corporation, because a good attorney can pierce any umbrella. They can get charging orders that they can enforce and various things that you'll find out. I talked to one time, the guru came by and he was selling LLCs and corporations, and I said to him, do you feel comfortable selling this concept to people? And he said, look, there's only two things that people buy, fear and greed, and I'm the fear guy. I'm going to tell them what can happen in these very few instances that these things happen. And I'll give you a good example. A guy in Tennessee has like 40 rental properties. There's a fire in one of the rental properties. Burns down and a child is killed. There was the smoke detector wasn't wired, hardwired, had a battery that died. Full liability to the guy that owned these. Now, he was an old-time investor, and he started out by putting them in his name. Half of them were fully paid for, and the other half had small mortgages left on them. What happened? He lost them all. He lost everything in that lawsuit. Would it have helped had he had a limited liability company? Some guys will say you should have one for each property. Those are typically accountants who want to do your tax returns. Other ones will say you should have a master one and this and that and so on and so forth. He should have spent the money on hardwiring the smoke detector, taking care of the people in the property rather than being a slum landlord, I'm going to say. So there are times and places when you build a substantial amount of assets that you want both a tax-sheltered, tax-benefited entity, which is an LLC or a sub-S corp, or an LLC doing the accounting as a sub-S corp, or possibly a corporation with the tax law changes. It's to ask your accountant or CPA attorney, what does he think is best and when? I suggest you make money first and then go into one of the entities so you get some tax breaks you wouldn't have otherwise had. If you want to cover yourself, get an umbrella policy when you have money to do it. That gives you much better coverage. In closing, I want to mention one other thing. One of the most powerful things you can do as you get more successful and you're doing deals is the ability to raise private money, not borrow hard money. And it's so important that I actually include a course in my materials on finding private money. When I first put it out, one of my new students went to South American country, is all I'll say, and came back with $10 million. You know, what can you do in real estate investing with $10 million? A lot. And he didn't have money more than for the airfare. And he's become an extraordinarily successful rehabber, okay, because we've been in a rising market the last 8 years, and almost anything you do, you can't do it wrong. Now, for wholesalers, we do better in declining markets. I'll say it again. In declining markets, like the crash that we had, we do better than we do in rising markets. Why? It's very simple. There's more sellers. I'm going to see you in the next 2-minute tips. If you're concerned about, I don't have any money, no credit, so on and so forth, don't worry about it.